What's up? Oh God, not with that shit. Oh my God, it sounded like I just drank a bucket of jizz. What's up, YouTube? This is Black Guy Senpai. Today we are here to talk about the travesty that is Aquaforce out of the new Extra Booster, but we're gonna see what we can do with this. And today I have a nice little panel of some of my friends from my Discord. I have Cardfight King.
Cradfight King here, Aqua Life baby, you already know.
I have the mysterious Ocean Dragon.
Hello, everyone, again.
All right, and returning we have TisSkill.
Hello.
And we have Zay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, so let's just dive straight into this. No water puns. Maelstrom. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I mean, an entire subreddit post knows my thoughts on it. I got mass downloaded on that shit. Like, it's just underwhelming. The card could have done so much more, but I feel like they really shortchanged us on its effects. Its own effect really kind of conflicts with itself. Like, on running fronts versus running crits, like it kind of wants both and like somehow in the same effect. So it's just all over the place. Like, it seems like they're trying to force us to run Rainbow, and let's be honest, nobody wants to do that.
I mean, before we get into that, I just want to mention like our expectations about Maelstrom, right? Like most of us who play Aquaforce for a while, Maelstrom has been like the boss unit for the longest time. So we kind of wanted and in a way expected it to just like carry the clan, maybe be like a grade 3 that you want to be on, maybe a grade 3 that will finish the game for us, maybe the game that will, the grade 3 that will like promote our playstyle, which is more tempo rather than just pure aggressive. So, build some sort of advantage while putting on pressure. What we got is none of that.
Yeah, sadly. Like, we got some dude named Larry, not Maelstrom, and he's just like, hey guys, I know what everybody likes. Everybody likes rainbow triggers. And you're like, no, we want to run crits. No, rainbow triggers, that's the way. Come on, dudes, let's do it. You don't have stand triggers anymore. Run some fronts. It's like getting 4 triggers in one.
So, I mean, this reminds me of a time when GBHs were coming out. And I had high expectations, and then I got let down.
I will at least go on a limb to say that this Maelstrom is not as unplayable as that card was. That card is just horrendous. That card will rest forever with like Tie Dragon in the depths of Aquaforce hell that we just don't talk about. Our GV8 doesn't exist.
Oh, you mean like Legion?
I'm still of the opinion that that card is or was ahead of its time, but still is ahead of its time. We just need some really good wave support to come in the far future somewhere.
I don't like clan abilities anymore. I'm alright with that. I'm alright with actual English wording on stuff and not shorthand.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that card never comes back. I hope it's never used. It's awful. Plus 5k was a slap in the face when you have like other GB8s getting like 10ks of power. It's just that card was just poorly designed. I don't know how that got past R&D.
Or 60k in Deep Release's case.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think
I don't know
about
how
it. Like,
standard past RNG.
like back then, like even still now, they're like overbalancing us. They're like, okay, Aquaforce can rush because I think they're just looking at it as a like Aquaforce has been infamous for their turn 2 turn. So like it's like random Vanguard, Tidal Assault, Bubble Edge Draco Kid, something else that could restand. Like, and then we rush. We take our opponent from like if we check a crit, we could take them from 1 to 6. We could take them from 0 to 5. But like, and I think that's what they were looking at, like why they're trying to like design Maelstrom to force us to run Rainbow, so we don't end the game too soon, quote unquote. But like,
I think they already tried to do that with if you look at Tidal and Algos, because there are only restanders that restand on their own, yeah. And can restand Well, at least Tidal is the only one who can restand after the Vanguard's attack. So you can stack triggers on them to, like double dip into that critical power. I think they really tried to eliminate that, at least so it seems from design perspective.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and it's like, don't try to do that. Just like, if you're gonna balance us so we don't like kill people so fast, just give us title as our restander, make the Vanguard restand, make Algos do something similar to what he used to do, which is draw us a card. Make it like the OTT thing, that filter shit. I don't care. Like,
I mean, we're only hitting 9K. I mean, if we're gonna get a turn 2 rush off, like, and I don't like to keep bringing this up because I do recognize that there are people who play Excel, and of course you have people who play Protect who all have 9K grade 2 Vanguards, but against Force, not we in order to hit, we have to hope for a trigger, or we have to call down a booster to hit and pray that they don't get a damage trigger and bump themselves up to 20K. Because like Force already just has an inherent ability to shut down a potential grade 2 rush, because we're going to be sitting at 9K and maybe we don't have the hand to commit a booster. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. You can go ahead.
Actually, the only thing that can help us in a rush against a 10K Vanguard is the Penguin, because he actually gives the 5K power till the end of the turn, so you can restand with that 5K power. Because even if you restand and you're already boosted, you're not going to hit anything unless you hit a trigger. And if they hit a defensive trigger, it's over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You still have to. That's still a grade 1 card. You have to commit to the board to do, to do anything, which means that by your turn 2 ride, you would have had to open up with that card more, unless you hit a draw trigger, either on damage or from your turn 1 swing. You have to commit that grade 1 to board to, in order to hit, whether it's using his ability or boosting on a Force.
And it has to be the specific one.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, something I want to chime in here and say is that I've actually play tested pretty late last night of the way the deck kind of plays, and it once again just reminds me a lot of BT13, and how you might not have all your pieces, and how you gotta like think, oh, do I slam put a booster here? Do I need this booster for later? And I did notice that Maelstrom actually adds a lot of pressure that I wasn't expecting. I went into it as nobody's going to guard Maelstrom, and that people are just going to guard my rear guards, and I'm never going to be able to restand. But because I was running crit, 6 draw 6 crit, I noticed that people were guarding Maelstrom, and people were misjudging the power levels that I could get. And I was able to get Maelstrom off a couple times, but if you're at 4 or 5 damage, if the opponent is, it's just not happening. You're better off riding Naval.
Yeah.
But I mean, another thing too is you're running a trigger lineup that's going to be considered to most unconventional. Like everybody's going to go the front trigger way, probably because it's going to beef up their front row when the Maelstrom swings, to try and give their third and fourth hit a bit more oomph for like actually hitting, and that's going to cause them to not have as much respect as your Vanguard was getting because you're running crits, for instance.
And it's the only way to get around the defensive trigger is with a front trigger.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, okay. So with Maelstrom's skill, like, how do you guys now feel about that grade 3 that doesn't have an Excel marker? I can't think of the name.
Riptide?
Yeah, Riptide.
I hate that card.
You still hate it?
I don't want to risk riding that shit for fucking Maelstrom.
You ride it, you lose.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, perfect guarded away in G assist.
I mean,
but that feels bad.
Yeah, but what feels worse? What feels worse?
Away.
Riding. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what's
JFK?
better? Don't include it.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get Diamantes, and I don't know why. For some reason, Bushiroad's like, yeah, we're gonna hold all the hype for Diamantes. The last triple rare in the set.
They already knew Maelstrom was going to bomb, that's why.
Yeah.
What hype? There is no hype. It's just desperation. Like, are we gonna get something that's actually gonna save us or not? That's not hype. hype was
Yeah,
for
dude.
Maelstrom. We're all 3K to the front row all the time. Like, yeah.
No, I've been Maelstrom for a while. Actually, we're just kind of like crawling to a slow halt. The hype train already died out. Like with half of our common and rare reveals. Like
Yeah.
at this point, it's just been like, please give us something. And Maelstrom was like, yeah, no.
I mean, here's my thing. I feel betrayed by Bushiroad, and this is the reason why. And I know things in real life are different from the anime, but I'm just like Leon Soryu. He is the champion of the Asian circuit. He beat DP, Grand Blue, whatever, to win it. Everybody respects him as the champion. Aquaforce has a trial deck. Before they were considered a legendary clan, so to speak. But I'm just like, this is the boss card of Aquaforce. This is the feature card of the Asian champion set. I'm just like, what I'm really mad about is that it didn't live up to my expectations of it being a feature card, being the boss card that's supposed to carry the clan, especially with the support they revealed, and the fact that Leon is an Asian, like supposed to be hailed as an Asian champion. I'm like, I want to see how he actually beat these people with Maelstrom, because for some reason I feel like he cheated and there was some sort of but we got BS.
Actually,
Let's call it the cover card curse, because remember Alfred? That was also pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Actually, he
this one's
didn't.
better.
He didn't beat. If you look at the anime, the way he wins against Goki in the finals, it's Naval Gazer. It's not even Maelstrom.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
then excuse me. Why is Maelstrom on the cover and not Naval Gazer?
Naval Gazer's that boy. I've been saying it, man.
Yeah.
He's
Because it's a big dragon. We all know Maelstrom. Because that's why.
Yeah.
So, like Alfred.
And like Naval Gazer in the original like sets, like the BT sets, like he was like I don't even think he was a trial deck card. He was just some random triple rare.
no, he's a trial
No.
deck. He is in trial deck 7. Something Marine Emperor.
Okay, yeah.
And
okay.
it was actually a good card. Like, not the great, but it was a good card.
Yeah,
So,
and then like
yeah.
Maelstrom came out like 2 weeks later, and then everybody was like, "Oh, fuck this card! I'm gonna run Maelstrom." And then like we ran Maelstrom, we ran Diamantes, we ran I think Benedict came out as a promo then too, or Benedict came out around BT09, and like that was our grade 3 lineup.
I ran a copy of Benedict.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing that Maelstrom had over Naval Gazer at the time is that Naval Gazer was a 10,000 base, while Maelstrom was an 11,000 base.
Yeah.
And that really hurt Naval Gazer as a potential right target.
Like, yeah, like BT08 was when we started getting 11K bases like more consistently. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, because I suck. But well, okay, but yeah, like that did take a huge part into that, because in the mirror match you got to watch out for your opponent's basils if you're on grade 3. So, yeah. All right, so I think we're all in agreement. Maelstrom is definitely underwhelming. I feel
On paper he's underwhelming.
Yeah.
I haven't tested it yet.
I personally I hated the restand effect. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I do too.
sugarcoat that.
I wanted a guard manipulation or a crit or some sort of draw ability. We've always been known to draw, and the fact that we have no draw power is
Oh, it
just
feels bad.
like, oh.
yeah, that's
It feels real bad.
Like,
yeah.
I'm fine with him not having one of those as long as he had like something that promotes good play. Because Aquaforce has always been that clan that you couldn't just pick it up and play it. You'd always fuck up somewhere. Sorry, pardon my
He actually made it really
expression,
linear. I don't like that.
But it was always you had to play around with things. You had to use what you had correctly to get to that point. And at that point, if you hit, you were so far ahead that the opponent just couldn't come back. And in general, it always promoted like smart play in Aquaforce. This Maelstrom doesn't. It just promotes smart guarding by the opponent. That's all that it does. Oh, so I have to save up guards for 3rd and 4th rearguard battles? Sure. I can take the early one because defensive triggers are going to help me with that? Sure. Like, what can we do about that? Like, all of our on hits is like just more power. and if they're ready to PG like the third or fourth battle, it doesn't matter anyways. So
well, I mean that's kind of a point. When I was playtesting, I swung rear a lot, even with Maelstrom, because then it puts them in a spot, right? Let's just say you have one Excel, one column, and the Excel is like Algos. So I swing Algos rear, restand. Then I swing Maelstrom to rear, right? And both rears are gone now. And now they have only 2 damage, both of which have been counterblasted, so there's no open counterblast. They have a decision to make. Let Maelstrom go through and possibly take a hit, or guard it. So you're basically forcing them to do something they might not want to do at all.
But I mean, that depends on how they play it, because there's always interceptors and such. Because Argos doesn't get any power, right?
Nope.
Unless
So
you use Maelstrom skill.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, it's not really like all that important anyways.
Yeah.
Interior guarding, but yeah.
Yeah. No, because it depends on what you're trying to hit, like what their rear guard is. Because if they can intercept and just get rid of their rear guards, they can just, or maybe they just have one rear guard, and like the plan just kind of falls short. I think it's there if the opponent played into it. Like if the opponent tries to counter it, and not place rear guards in front and just try to hold out that turn by taking a defensive trigger, that might be an issue.
I mean, the only thing, and this is something that Zay brought up, is that if you do attack rear, right, your first 2 swings, and you still have enough for fourth and third, and they go ahead and have to take one of them, Maelstrom might still be at 12, and it's easy to guard the second attack.
Yeah,
but
at 15, 25k is a 2 to pass. At 12k, 25k is a no pass. Like,
I just think that even such, still, you got to look at the fact that you're making them do something they don't want to do. So then that's next turn, they got to think about this. Are they going to damage deny me again? And if they are, then I need to not have rear guards. And then you just go face, I mean.
another thing I kind of have a problem with is with all these on hits, it really kind of puts you in a bind for where you're going to put Viviana, because it's like, I need this Viviana hit. This thing needs to hit. I need it for the soul for title. I need it for the draw so I don't die or like I see my pieces. So it's like, you need to resolve this at some point, and you're going to have to cleverly put it on the rear guard that you think they're going to want to take, which is going to be really awkward to map out with the third and fourth hits, because like at some points it's probably better to just be like, I rather the Maelstrom restand and you filter than you just get a free draw and more soul.
I mean, the thing is, again, like, this is my beef with the way they did Aqua Force right now. Like, whatever you do, it's always up to the opponent if they're going to play it out correctly, right?
Yeah.
It's not up to you. You can try to, like, change the situation so that it's the most difficult to figure it out. Like, we can make, like, good numbers, we can make formations, we can make the right attack patterns. But if our opponents know what they're doing, they're going to figure out a way to just outvalue us, even like in the long run. But we're an Axel clan that has like 0 tempo tools. We have no draws. We have no retires. We have no ways to like get something out of just attacking. And in the long game, we just lose.
It just feels bad because like you want the front trigger for the first attack. Like, you want to see that early front. You want the Maelstrom to be 25k if you hit the restand, so he actually has pressure. But like, you just don't want that front on the second swing. Like, you want crits at that point. You're like, I want to threaten damage now when he restands. It just feels bad.
Yeah, and it it makes us split. It makes us do a really weird split. Like, I've been thinking, like 6 draw, of course, and then like either I go 3 crits and then the rest heals in fronts, or reverse.
Oh,
it.
3-3?
Yeah, I could go 3-3, but still, it's like it's too variable. Like, your opponent's gonna be like, okay, like generally like the first like couple times you fight somebody new, they're gonna think, okay, Aquaforce Excel. They're probably not running crits because like whatever. And then like once they see the crit, they're just gonna like, all right, fuck you, I'm guarding everything now.
And that's kind of my thought process, is that I know fronts would be beneficial, but honestly, crits are the way to go, because if they sit there and they're going to let Maelstrom hit and I'm running 6 crit, I mean, there's a chance I just take the game.
Yeah, if he restands, it could be over. If you actually have power too.
Yeah, and like I'm just gonna like go crits. I'm not probably gonna run fronts, and that might bite me in the ass later. But
I mean, someone's gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna say it. Like, fronts are the new stands, because, like, sure, they do something you want to do. They sound great on paper, but then again, you just might as well get the crit, get the damage, and win before it even gets to the point where you need the front trigger.
yeah,
I mean, fronts work if at some point we get on the first battle that your Vanguard swings, this happens. Other than that, it's tough. It's just tough.
If his effect didn't restand him, then I'd be like, okay, I'm all aboard. Fronts are good. Like minimal crits, like let's do this. But the fact that like he restands is just an even bigger deterrent for me to want to run the fronts, because I don't want to check them on a second drive check, because most of my rear guards are already rested, and like he's restanding with low numbers, so it's like I don't even really care. Like a restander in a non-force clan just feels really bad, and this is starting to be really apparent.
Like I don't think anybody really wanted Maelstrom to restand.
I did not want Maelstrom to restand
like,
at all.
Like
No.
when we were talking about it like in the Discord a couple weeks ago, I'm like, oh man, hopefully Maelstrom is just like guard restrict the zeros. CFK said something similar to that, and like
I want to draw and retire. Like I was simple. I just wanted the old effect.
Yeah, like I remember I was like, oh, I want reverse Maelstrom skill on this. Like that'd be cool. Like not like as far as like the exact skill, but like counterblast 1, kill something, draw a card on attack. If you hit like 4th wave, and that'd be cool. But or like a perfect riser skill, but that's navel gazer because we're not allowed to have good skills on Maelstrom.
Bro, we got Tetra Maelstrom. Best card ever.
Tetra Drive is cosplaying as Maelstrom. That's what's happening.
No, he's memeing as Maelstrom. At this point, original Tetra Drive would be a very Vanguard.
Oh my gosh. I wish we had original Tetra Drive. I really do. That would have been amazing. Because, again, and I explained this in my video too, you look at, I mean, I know Dementia Police has like die brave and die this, die that, and like a lot of it's like if your Vanguard hits, then we chain all of these different effects. But I'm just like, what we need to happen is we just needed more automatic effects. Like Bibiana, she should have been when you're like Penguin, when your unit attacks on such and such battle, automatically goes to soul +3 draw card. I would have had a much better opinion on her. Theo for Dorothea's unplayable because she's Blast to give 8K, but like Theo, like I kind of wish Theo wasn't on boost or attack on hit card to deliver 8K somewhere. I wish it was like, all right, third battle when it boosts or attacks, give 8K somewhere. Like we needed more automatic effects to activate because we're restricted by battle. And my thing is that the fact that we are restricted by battle, having more automatic effects doesn't make it seem like, oh, we're given a free pass. I'm like, no, the fact that a lot of it's on hit with battle restrictions, I feel as if, even including what Maelstrom does and whatnot, we are overcosted. For an Excel clan with no draw, I feel like we are overcosted in a lot of different areas, and I think that's what the problem is on paper right now. So we're overcosted in areas.
Yeah. I mean, Bushiroad just seems to be trying to over control Excel because in a vacuum, Excel seems to be the most powerful gift.
Yeah, like so in theory, we can just blow games open, but like in practice, we really don't.
Yeah, like.
And besides, Aquaforce's playstyle is more of a tempo, like over time we get so far ahead that they simply can't guard all of our attacks anymore. And that's something that kind of fits Force more rather than Excel, which just wants to win as soon as possible.
Yeah, but could you imagine if we would have been forced? We actually might have gotten column swapping.
Column swapping with Force would be amazing.
Yeah.
And see, like, something that bugs me is, like, this is actually something I've seen continually throughout the week when talking about this, and just, like, everybody's rebuttal in general. But, like, this loosely thrown around term pressure when they're talking about Maelstrom, when we're talking about what we do, they're talking about pressure. The thing is pressure doesn't matter if you're playing against decks that don't matter. So, like, sure, we could pressure Nova Grapplers or Royals or Mega Colony, you know, like clans that aren't that great. And we could probably, you know, give them a run for their money. But at the end of the day, we're a clan with very little to no draw. We have a massive conflict, like, in interest in terms of the triggers we're going to be running. So we're going to be in a spot where no matter what trigger we choose, it's always still going to feel like the wrong choice in some aspects. And then, like, when you factor in pressure, it's like, okay, so, I mean, you run the crits. That means you lose all of your attacks to a defensive trigger. And yeah, Maelstrom may not restand. Maybe you get in the 2 damage, but, like, it's going to feel bad when you've already paid the cost for your turn in advance, because that's the way we work now. Like, a lot of our costs are up front. No more, you know, like, at the end of the battle or, like, when something happens, or, like, resolve that then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is you play the fronts. Nobody respects your Vanguard. Your Vanguard still probably doesn't restand. In the event it does restand, it's still easily guardable by, like, a heal trigger, for instance. So people are loosely throwing around this term pressure because we attack for, like, what, 22, 15, if boosted 23, so 22, 23. Insert another number here. Some people on the sub kept saying 22, so we'll say the other title, Algos attack, whatever here. So 22, and then, like, maybe one big 4th attack. Sure, like, all those numbers seem great, but, like, that's just in a vacuum, and people are just thinking it looks great because, oh man, like, we have 4 attacks like that every turn. Let's look at Royals, though. Let's look at Soul Saver turns. They're attacking for, like, what, 60 Ks?
Yeah, 61 to, like, 63.
Across 3 attacks. So, like, one of their attacks from one of their rear guards is basically the equivalent of all 3 of our attacks. I know they're going to say, oh man, but it's spread over all these attacks. But it's like, but it's still easier to guard. They still have to guard, like, some of those attacks. They can't just be like, okay, I'm just going to take 3 to the face, and 2 turns later when you do it again, I'm just going to take 3 to the face. Like, they still have to guard somewhere. So,
or they just take 1, get a defense.
Yeah.
They take nothing else.
And the thing too is, like, for Royals, like, so I'm using Royals as this example. So, like, for Royals, like, when they have those 3 massive attacks, like, you maybe are taking 1 or 2 of these attacks, but you still have to fork up the guard for one of these attacks. So one of these attacks is taking all of the guard it would take to guard all of our attacks, besides maybe mail, because probably 1 or 2 to pass them. You're not worried about crits, in which case you don't even care. So going back to our turn, though, it's like, okay, I identified the 1 attack I want to take, and oh man, you dealt a damage to me. If I defensive trigger, your entire turn is crap. And even if I don't, your entire turn is still guardable by a crit trigger, besides maybe your 4th attack, which might be really big. So, like, I hate how people are throwing around pressure, because it's like people would have had to guard this crap regardless if Maelstrom had a restand effect or not anyway. It's not really pressure. You're always going to be doing these attacks. So, like, calling it pressure because, oh man, a 15k Vanguard might restand, like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's just beyond stupid. And, like, this is a bit of a rant, but, like, it had to be said. You know what pressure is? Pressure is facing an OTT deer turn, watching him stack 2 crits on top of the deck, and you're at 2 damage, and you're saying they're like, am I going to be able to guard this turn, or am I dying right here? That is pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I would have felt better, a lot better, like, if you said, like, if we got some basic just credit for our attacks instead of having to pay up front. Like, this is not a car dealership, dude. Like, let me get a loan on some power or some attacks. Like, dude, come on.
I mean, something that, you know, I've been also thinking about in my head too is that people a lot of times will defend their clan and be like, "Oh, well, we beat Nova Grappler and we could beat Mega Colony," kind of like what Zay said, and it's like,
they're not the best decks, though.
Right. You put this up against OTT. You put this up against Tachis. You put this up against DP, and we will just crumble. You know what I'm saying? Like
there's no merit in saying we're the best of the worst. We're still the worst. We're just not the absolute worst. You know, like it doesn't matter how we do against these bottom tier clans. No offense to people that play them, but like right now, if you are a meta clan or like you want to be a top dog, you have to be able to consistently take games off of those three clans. And honestly, the only one I see us even being able to relatively challenge is Kagero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Kagero is only really meta because at this current point in the English format, there's only 4
Representation.
decks. Yeah.
And
there's only 4 decks. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of merit to like the consecutive waterfall riding. Like if they see it, they see it, and like there's not much you can do. You're probably gonna lose.
I mean,
but like in terms of the top decks, I definitely think it's the weakest of the three. That's why I always say, in my opinion, Tachis are the second best deck in the format, not the third. But I mean, people then argue like results, and it gets hard to really defend Tachis as a second deck when Kagero has so many more results. But in my opinion, like this is expressly just my opinion. I think Kagero's.
Tachikazes have always been like literally. You look at the entire Destructive Roar set. All 3 of those clans are niche clans. They've historically been bottom tier clans throughout the entire history of Vanguard. They've always been at the bottom. Even when Megaconies got Gridora, they were Gridora was hot for like a quick second and then dropped down. So I'm just like these clans are not Kagero, Royal Paladins, even OTTs to that effect, who've generally had a big showing before Bushiroad dropped the ball on them, with the creation of Genesis and whatnot. But I'm just like, Tachikazes, I would consider them, yes, probably the second best deck in the game when that set drops or right now. But they're such a niche clan and they don't have a large player base that the numbers for them get skewed. And it's like, well, I'm playing Tachikazes. I might be a good Tachikaze player, but if I'm playing in teams, I can rely on my teammates. If I'm playing in singles, then sure, but I have to fight through OTTs and Kageros. And Kageros do have a really good matchup against Tachikazes, getting rid of like Mega Rex and Sonic Noahs and things like that, because without their rear guards, they can't really do too much. So I'm like, it's up to the individual to do well with it. But if you don't have a lot of Tachikaze players in the tournament, then once one of the few of them lose, 2 games or whatever it is, then you're not going to see them in top. But you have a lot of Kagero players at top. They might avoid bad matchups, or they might win in the center column mirror match, and they'll end up making top, but they'll quickly lose in top 8 because somebody's playing OTT who's better than them. Maybe somebody's playing someone mated them with Novas and they just wreck shot with them. Not that it's going to happen, but that's what I'm saying. Low representation heavily skews the number when it comes to the meta and things like that. Even if the deck has better potential and could be better than the deck, if you don't have a lot of people playing it, you're not going to have a lot of results. And that's just facts.
I mean, but we have to understand here that this is card games. Like in a perfect world, everybody here would play Aqua till the day we die. But because I would assume we're all competitive, I'm sure we can all agree that we're going to play something, that is considered meta. I play OTT currently. I'm sure Zay, you play OTT too.
Yep.
It's just because I'm a very competitive person. I'd love to play Aqua all day. But let's not kid ourselves. When it comes down to if a deck is meta, it's going to be played in any big tournament when it comes to Japan, when it comes to RBCSs and whatnot. And that's just a fact. Like, who cares if Tachis is a niche clan? Because guess what? Everybody's going to pick that up. Everybody's going to learn the deck, and it's going to be meta because it's good. It is.
It is a very good deck.
And I mean, this was true with Gear Chronicle. When Gear Chronicle started becoming meta, I went to to my locals, and of the 12 people that were there, it felt like 11 people were playing Gear Chronicle, just straight up.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. In the end, I think it's just going to take time before people pick up which of these clans are good. And if I may just go a bit back to what Zay, when you were talking about pressure, Thing is, I think people they see on hit, they quickly associate it with its pressure, because not only are you taking the damage, you're also taking another effect. But the problem is, these effects that we do have right now, they don't matter. 8,000 power somewhere, it doesn't matter. It's not even half a trigger, really, normally. But like what we used to have in the beginning was like, okay, I hit with this
Retire
and I will retire your Commander Laura. I will retire your important stuff. Like,
I'm hoping Valyria is that rare. If Valyria is on hit, retire still, I'll be happy. That would be something I like.
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
I mean, like for example, like in this Discord chat, Navataro will often bring up his Thavas on hit that. Yeah, like I played against it. I don't think it was competitively viable, but it was a completely different game. When every attack he does, on every attack, you have to be like, who? Should I really let this go through? Because if I do, he's going to get a big advantage or I'm going to get a big disadvantage. And we used to have this in the beginning. Like Cradfight King mentioned, like hit a stand trigger on Maelstrom, stand at Valeria or Algos and attack them with that. They're going to really consider if they want to drop like the last card in their hands to guard that, because it's going to make a big difference. But right now, we have none of that. And even if we get one card that does that, it's still going to be so inconsistent. It's just going to be whether you see it or not, and whether you see enough of it. And I just don't see the clan working around that if we get like one card.
As it stands, like the only on hit they should, like any opponent ever playing against any Aquaforce player should ever worry about denying is Viviana. You cut off our draw, you don't let us get that extra soul, then you're forcing us into a position where we have to re-ride to continue to use title more than 3 times a game, 2 if you use Algos on the grade 2 turn. So like, it's honestly Viviana. You stop her, you basically freeze us from being able to generate any card advantage and even use title too much in a game.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up going just say forget it, go 8 go 8 draw 4 crit. Jeez, because it's like we have no innate draws, and it's like it sucks. It really does suck.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk just about like the bad. Like there are some good positive aspects to this. Like
I think Maelstrom's I mean, I know Tis doesn't necessarily agree. I think Maelstrom's power gain effect is very good. Like even it being a counterblast, that didn't bother me too much. I wish it was free, but I mean, obviously we can't always get what we want. Even still, the overall effect itself, I like. Whether I'd use it every turn, probably not. But like, it helps hit numbers. Like you guys saw the chart. I laid out all the numbers you can hit, and a lot of those are very, necessitate the ability to use his effect to give the 3K to hit these numbers on Force Vanguards of all things.
I will say to just defend Zay here on Maelstrom's 3K. When I was playtesting, I didn't really need counterblast all that much, you know. So you might be doing it more than you think.
Yeah,
I mean, it breaks the mold, right? It breaks the mold of, okay, this unit can't hit this number, that unit can't hit this number, and then suddenly you have like when the anime dropped, I'm pretty sure we were all excited about it when we saw like Maelstrom drop, and then everything gets 3K. It's like, okay, everything makes sense now. Everything works now. Yeah, before it kind of didn't. Now it just works. That skill is amazing.
Maelstrom's plus 3K plus like the Theo on hits, like that stuff will add up very quickly. And another card I feel like really hasn't been talked about enough and really isn't gaining traction among the Aquaforce community that I'm just seeing in general is Affluent Dagger. And Tis and I had a really, really, really good in-depth conversation the other day about it. But like Affluent, in my opinion, is low-key the best card in the set. Like this card, you can put it on an Excel circle and it's an actual attacker. Like Maelstrom effect plus his own effect plus 10k Excel circle. Like this is just on wave 3. That's a 23k attacker, for instance.
He's like he's like a not Transriser but Jet Riser, I think it is.
Yeah, and like a lot of people aren't really like giving this card any love. They just wrote it off immediately as is bad. But in my opinion, I think like it's unfortunate because we're not gonna be able to run a lot of copies of him, just given what we're probably gonna have to run in our grade 1 lineup. But I think he is honestly one of the low-key best cards we have.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Whoa.
It's
on
when
everything.
a hit attacks. So you could stack 3K. If you're going to attack, 5, 6, 7 times, you can stack it on it.
Yeah, he gets massive. Like I was doing the numbers with just wave 4. I wasn't trying to go beyond wave 4, but like a lot of stuff was hitting like really significant numbers. Like here, you guys continue talking. I'll try and find this again.
I mean, wave four is 13K. Like,
Yeah,
that's
It's
enough.
a 13K.
That's all you
Either
need.
booster or attacker.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
to be
That's without Maelstrom.
Like that's going to help with boosting. It's going to help with attacking. Like I'm actually more considering than that guy at 4.
Okay, so Lazarus right here. So Lazarus is a 9K, 3K from himself, 3K from Maelstrom, plus 13 boosted by Affluent on wave 4. That's a 28K column, for instance. If you add in some Theos and stuff like that, so I did some numbers with Shotgun Assault. So Shotgun Assault is 9K plus 8K, that's 17, plus 3K, that's 20. If a Theo hits and you put power there, that makes him 28. And if he's on Excel Circle, because I didn't specify if he's on a Rearguard or Excel Circle, makes him 38K. Like a lot of these numbers end up mattering. Like Mail makes numbers. Mail plus Affluent makes columns. Like it's crazy.
quick maths. But
Quick math.
but yeah, like I agree. Like this deck is not. I think most of the disappointment from the Aquaforce community is just most of us hyped up.
Our foil cards just kind of let us down. Except Title. I don't know why people are bashing Title. Title's really good.
Yeah,
I love
like,
Title.
yeah,
Love Title.
I think it's because we were spoiled in the original series with Title because he was free as shit. Only thing he
Yeah.
lost was 5K.
He shouldn't have been that free, to be honest. Like
No,
I
he
expected
shouldn't.
something like that to be retconned a long time ago.
Like that card was the card in that sneak preview. Like you saw that card, you fucking win. Like
And like even still, like he's been kind of nerfed a bit, but they also like gave us back a gift. They're like, oh hey, like we understand we put this cost on this card you've been using forever with no cost, but like if you attack with it first, you still retain your power. Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
But in my opinion,
but
that
the
conflict
thing
with
is-
Algos and that edges them out. Like you have to argue about like which one you're gonna do. But like if you're on Naval Gazer and you're on Title and Title's on an Excel Circle, you swing with Title, and because of the once per turn rule, like if for some reason you swing 19 at the Vanguard, you don't have to use Title skill right then.
No,
You do some other crap, do Naval Gazer, stand Title, then do it because it's once per turn. Once per turn lasts the entire turn now, and a lot of people like forget that rule changed. So
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was totally forgetting that during my testing, but
the new one's return is pretty good.
yeah, new ones per turn is pretty good.
I would just swing rear because the best thing about Title now is that he restands off a rear
On
guard
rear
swing.
too. Yeah.
So
I mean, like losing the 5K on the attack, like if you're second to war, that like it kind of really sucks. There's no really good way to get around it, but like I understand what they're trying to get at. We still have the ability to stack crits on them, but if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this at a much lower power. And like I get it, so I can't be mad. Like we could still do the grade 2 cheese turn, which is why I keep bringing it up. Like the Algos Title grade 2 turn, that's gonna kill so many people if you hit a
my
crit.
God. Like last week I was talking about this. Like if your Vanguard is Algos, you have a rear guard Algos, and then you have another rear guard Title Assault. You have Thea, Bibiana, and Penguin. Like if you have that full board,
You can
just,
kill
like-
somebody.
yeah, you are fucking set. Like you use Penguin skill, which is behind Title Assault. Give Title Assault the plus 5K, so he's gonna like basically neg out when you do it. It's gonna be a wash. You swing with Algos, rearguard Algos. You restand himself. Swing with Vanguard Algos. Restand Penguin behind Title Assault. So basically, Title Assault is 9, 5, 14. That's 22K right there. And then whatever triggers you get, let's say you get a crit or a front, whatever, put it on Title Assault. That's a 32K column by itself.
Yep.
Quick maths.
Like,
And then it's just like that's too much fucking pressure. And then we get to draw a card, and we gain soul. So
Wait,
basically,
can I state something?
Yeah,
That right there, that grade 2 turn, that's pressure. Just for everybody who listens to this.
yeah, like
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was doing the playtesting, I was delightfully surprised at how much the deck was able to do and not do. I mean, granted, I was playing Grand Blue, and I know a lot of people have this back and forth between whether Grand Blue is good or not. But initially I was going into it like, oh, Grand Blue might be good. We're going to auto lose to it, and no, Like I felt that I was able to, hold my own, even when I didn't draw into all my rear guards. Like literally, there were 2 turns in a row when I had 0 rear guards, just none, 0.
I mean, I really agree with what Maxime Solon said in his own video when he said that the new title is way better geared for early game rather than late game, because late game, that's minus 5k during the whole turn. If you do it, it's going to hurt a lot more than the early game. And in the early game, he's great. So we do have that. But again, we have to draw these cards. And we hit the same problem as Nova Grapplers, right? If Nova Grapplers have the perfect hand in the beginning, they're going to put you to 4 before you ride to grade 3, even if you went first. And we have the same issue now, because if you don't draw our pieces, you're not going to do anything early game. And it just hurts. Like, if you can't put on early pressure, you can't finish them on your grade 3, because that's kind of what we're supposed to do. If we let them a full grade 3 or even 2 grade 3 turns through, we're probably behind so much, and they're going to attack so many of our rear guards that we just won't have the hands to replace them. And that's concerning. Like, it's what killing Novas right now. And I'm really hoping that we find a way to like work around this, because if we don't, we're literally just Novas 2.0. We're just better looking, and that's it.
The thing about us versus Novas, though, is like they have to commit a lot more to do their turns. We can commit less and still get value, especially if we're on Naval.
Oh yeah.
You can commit 1 or 2 cards and make a whole turn with Naval.
Something else is that we get restanding effects once again, and I know you keep bringing this up, but when we swing at rear, we have a better time doing things we don't want to do than Nova.
That is true. Yeah.
Another thing too is we have better generic power game. Like Novas forever are like the 19,000 curse.
Yeah, like I'll play against Novas, and like I'm gonna wanna like definitely test out Aquaforce versus Novas and Tachis and like the mirror match, but like I think we'll be able to pull out on numbers over on, especially on Novas. Like OTT will be able to pull out numbers, but they draw too much. And Force
I think with OTT you have to kill them on like right around first ride. That's basically like the sweet spot.
Yeah, because they have cards, but not too many.
Yeah, like you want to kill them before they start like really amassing that card advantage from riding Daughter or riding Amaterasu. So like if you can get them early, like you can get them to that like 3 to 4 damage spot, and I mean even Maelstrom in this sense will do a lot against them because they don't have a huge hand to work with, right? So they're gonna have to take damage somewhere. But like it really doesn't matter. You just have to, around the time of their first ride, you have to be able to just like put the hurt on them as much as you possibly can and hope that's enough. Because like once they start going, like they're just gonna outpace us and we'll fall behind.
Thing is though, counterblast denial is gonna hurt us, because if you don't even get like 2 counterblasts and you use 1 counterblast on your grade 2 turn for your algos, you won't be able to even get the Maelstroms plus 3k to the front row.
You don't need the Maelstrom effect a lot though for protecting Excel clans. Like people are under this misconception that you do, but you'll hit the numbers on them regardless anyways without it. You just hit better numbers with it.
Yeah, true.
Plus we have Penguin.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
like if they're damage denying us, like that's all fine and good. It means they're attacking our rear guards, but they're also giving us targets to attack, and we're taking cards out of their hand, which gives us an easier time when we go for that kill turn when they should hopefully not have a lot in hand.
Yep, great point.
I mean, it can create like this weird stalemate where you're both just. I've seen this in Nova games, like where you're just both placing down rears and you're both just attacking rears. Like no one wants to attack the Vanguard before killing all of their rears. And the problem is, in this regard, OTT wins because they build hand. They can actually guard.
No, they build hand if they can continuously ride 3s. I'm saying kill them before then. A lot of people are going to think that we're heavily costed because of all the early cards we get, but realistically, the only thing you're spending CB on every turn is Algos and Maelstrom. So like people are going to be under this misconception that like we can't function without Counterblast, and that's going to kill people because Tidal will still go off. Maelstrom, in effect, like I hate it, but his restand will still go off for free. Like people will die thinking they can damage deny us.
Now, like, and on top of that, like, out of the two restanding Vanguards that we have in the game, Maelstrom, in my opinion, is better because he's not restand and
No,
do
bro.
one drive check. Dude, listen, okay? Shush. I'm trying to justify this.
Maelstrom is not better than Dragonic Overlord.
Yeah, we know. But like,
I will say, like,
just,
at least we're a wash compared to.
Yeah, that's the point that I was getting to. Like, we are a wash where he is a -1.
I mean, he's forcing out big dick damage, and we're just like, oh hey, I do things.
Look at me splashing my pool. Like yeah.
If he hits that crit, you actually still have to guard that 40k something Overlord.
Hey man,
you don't have to do that with Maelstrom.
Listen, I've done that to many people when they're on grade 2. I understand, but it's just like in my opinion, like the not having to just do one drive check is a lot better.
Oh, definitely. Like we get the filter, which is nice. Like pseudo draw, I guess, but it really doesn't matter because we're still probably discarding something we really didn't want to discard to draw and hopefully get something better. Which
I'm telling you, that's why I'm running 8 draws in Aquaforce now.
Oh man.
We need pieces. Fuck guard value. Like that's all.
I mean, you lose a lot of guards with that.
Listen. Our best guard is our offense. That's all we gotta do. No, I'm just joking. I know. Like I'm realistically not gonna do that. At max, I'll probably just go 6-6 for a 6-3-3, test things out. But like,
I'm probably just gonna go 8-4. Just feel like I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna run 4 draw triggers. I'm just like, I just want to hit. I just want to do some aggression.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you run just 4 draws, if you get into the damage deny / you have to play a little bit of a longer game, you're gonna feel bad. Feel real bad.
I already feel bad at these reviews, man. I just, I can't feel any worse than losing than going like 1-3 at locals and losing $5. Yeah,
Wait.
I paid $5 to go 1-3.
Wait. What's the deck that you think that you're gonna beat with that 1-3 record?
Oh, the deck I want to beat. I'm gonna scrub out one OTT player. I'm gonna scrub out one OTT player. They're gonna be salty. They lost to me, and they're gonna miss out on top. They're gonna end up in 5th place.
Oh.
So something I do want to kind of reflect on is I'm wondering how the second round of support is going to go, because you got to look at Bushy has done everything right, it seems, in ways of protect clans, giving them draws, giving them ways to have the power gains and whatnot. You have Force, which I mean we knew from the get-go was going to be good. And Excel, they've been kind of really toning us down. So I'm really wondering if, they're going to tone us up in the second wave.
Yeah, we got to hit that gas pedal sometime.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I don't think they really did hit what they wanted to, because when you look at how games actually go, like Protect was supposed to be the one that finishes on the late game, but Force has the best scaling. Like Force gets, like, over time, if they get to rewrite, there'll be a point where you just can't guard Force anymore because all of their attacks are so huge because of all those Force triggers. And they're actually the ones that have the best late game in terms of how well they can close out games. Well, Deer is also really good, but if you don't get it or get it off, or maybe damage check all of your Deers, you're screwed. And like Axel is just, who's supposed to be like really good, like, I'm a bit disappointed because we did see this coming. We did say, like, my first reaction when I saw Aquaforce has Excel, I was like, damn it, I have to play one more card from my hand for me to get off what I want to get off. Like before, Aquaforce could do well because we had good units that you could build columns with just on those units. Like one of my favorite things in, for say, Blue Wave was when you could first stride into Commander Thavas, and all you needed was Commander Thavas, a Foivos, and an Andre, and 2 Counterblast. And you had a great turn. All you had to commit was 1 card to the board and the cost per striding, which you made up with Triple Drive. Like right now, like put our hand onto the board and hope this works, because we're not getting it back. You're not getting that value that you placed on the board. You're not going to draw anything back. And that's the biggest concern I have, because it's like you go all in. If you can do it, you do it. If you don't, you are going to get outpaced really quickly. And I'm not sure if that's what they really wanted for Axel, but that's what we got.
It seems like they really hit missed the mark for like Tachikaze hit when it comes to Excel. Like it seems like they don't really know how to push us, and no grapplers, for instance, can give us like the power we needed to succeed without like really breaking us. And I feel like maybe when the next set comes around, they might dial us up a lot more. But right now, I'm pretty sure they know it too. But like clans, both of the clans actually are just really underwhelming. They just don't do enough of what they need to. We weren't given the tools we need to succeed, really.
No, we weren't.
Or they do it too much, like in Tachikaze, where they can practically deck out because of all of those equip gauge charging in. It's not like they have a choice. Like they have to do it or they do nothing. So, yeah. But on the flip side, there is one positive thing I see about the new cards. Anyone want to talk about premium?
Oh no.
I've been thinking about premium. My main thing is like Wailing Despina is going to be a really nasty combo, and it's just like finding ways to make it work, finding ways to like min max his power as much as possible, you know. So
like,
I've been thinking about that. I just need more time.
Yeah, like I'm really excited about Blue Waves because Valios is the game changer here. Because this is a deck that can actually run front triggers and use them properly.
Yep.
Because you go on Valios, they're at 11k, and we have our oh damn it, I forget the name. The sprite that we got in the last set of the Aqua Force support that can restand even if it's first battle for -1. The Blue Wave one. And you can swing with your Vanguard second or even first in that case, just to get the front triggers out immediately if you do get them. And then everything will use that and keep restanding the same units again and again and again. Like Foivos and what's his name? The right-hand guy that restands not only in the first battle, but when your Vanguard attacks, he stands again.
Are you talking about Baragios?
Yeah, Baragios. And wait, is it Barag? Yeah, I think
Baragios. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really good too because he gets better with the new once per turn change. So you don't have to restand him by his own ability the first time your Vanguard attacks. You can just save it for later, for the last battle. And even then, if your Vanguard doesn't hit, or if you hit more triggers, you can still stand him and attack with him at the very end. So Blue Wave got quite the boost from this, I think, just mechanically. Because with that 11k, you eliminate the defensive triggers. So the only one profiting from triggers being 5,000 more power than they were before, so 10,000 triggers, is you. Because
the issue, though, is a lot of those counterblasts are special counterblasts. So if you CB any of your triggers, you're just like, well, crap.
Yep.
And you still need to run 4 Brutal Trooper.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't run Brutal Trooper, you're not doing well.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there is an alternative, which is just run starters, maybe in the main deck even. But the thing is, like, in Premium, you're not trying to go for the long game because the things that you're going to play in Premium are going to kill you quickly. You're going to go against Royals, who's going to stack a bunch of force. You're going to go against OTT, who's just going to come out at you with an unguardable turn. Mega Colonies similarly. And you want to kill them very quickly. And this is the way to do it. Like, you notify the Aqua Force's weakness with Valios, the triggers, and then you just use everything we have at your disposal to just be aggressive as much as you can. And with the Penguin, we can now actually countercharge mid battles.
Yeah,
So
but
we
you
can get
definitely
some of that
cannot
combos.
run that penguin in the deck. Like you're like okay, so with anywhere from we'll say 12 triggers that are non blue wave, and then you run the penguin. That's 16 cards in your deck. Like you're gonna really struggle, especially like if that's in your soul. You don't want that in your soul. You're not gonna be able to get off the Valios effect more than maybe once or twice.
Yeah, but once is enough. Once is enough, right?
I don't know about
No. It's definitely not enough.
I mean, if you could say that if you're running like a whaling, Thomas kind of hybrid, and you go into the whaling Despina kind of thing, but like not for Valius. There's no way.
You're definitely going to need at least 2 turns from his ability. I will guarantee that.
Because my idea is that you push them early, and then you push them on your first stride, and your
first
idea,
stride turn is still very guardable, though.
Yeah, but the idea is to try to get them to 4 or 5. At that point, it's not even going to matter if they hit a defensive trigger because they're going to be dead.
Unless their defensive is a heal.
That's true, but healing at 6. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you need to just be a little conscientious of the possibility of like you might not get them where you need them to be after the first Valios, and just always plan for the first, but like you have the second as like a backup.
Yeah, no, I mean that's good, but we'll have to see. I mean, we still have to see, but I think the potential is there. You just have to like play test it and build it and try and work with it.
See, like what I was looking at is basically like almost like how G Thavis pretty much plays, but like take out all the Thavis and just insert Maelstrom plus Despina and play like basically almost a mix of standard and Thavis, and it'll play pretty well for the most part. I just have to really like figure out the details. So I've been trying to figure out which cards work well together.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you can also use other Maelstrom support then.
No. No, thank you.
Well, I mean,
only Despina. Maelstrom is literally only in there for Despina. And
I do still see there being a place for maybe 1 or 2 Rascal Sweepers. Because
I wouldn't even Rascal. I don't want to swap. I like the idea of our boosters actually being relevant now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, more attacks only matters on the actual whaling turn, and at that, it's just like 1 more attack, but it then conflicts with new title and new algos. So I wouldn't even Rascal, honestly, even if it's Ace Spinning Counterblast, because like remember we have access to Galphilia again and stuff like that.
And that is exactly why I'm not touching premium with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I'm definitely playing premium. I just don't know if I'm going to play premium Toronto yet or not.
Oh no! Like I think they're on separate days for Bushy Road. It's on separate days.
It'd be nice. I mean, there's nothing else they really do in Toronto in that other half of the area when they're going on with Buddy Fight and like Weiss and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of empty spots.
Yeah, like that's why I think they're gonna do standard one day. I think they're gonna do standard Saturday, premium Sunday, and then have the 4 Dragoborn players play on Sunday as well, and then like the 20-something Buddy Fight players and those.
How many Dragoborn players did you say?
4.
4? Man, that's generous. I think there was 3 last time. I don't even know.
Like, okay, I went to Team League this year, and the top 8 was round 1. So
I'm almost 90% sure at Toronto for Team League, top 8 was automatically announced like a half hour after they started.
Oh man, I lost round 1. I'm in top 8.
Yep.
Like I was at Rome recently, and I think there was like 5 people, and I think 2 of them just had like trial decks. Like, it was terrible.
Like how do you kill Luck and Logic for this game at least? Like I mean I can get if it was anything else, but like this game's awful.
Yeah, like Luck and
Nobody
Logic,
wants to play it.
like no matter how bad Luck and Logic could have been, they at
I
least had
liked
the.
it. I thought it was a good game. I
Oh
just
no,
thought
I'm
it
not.
was managed poorly.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not. Like I played it and I liked it. Like I bought like 6 booster boxes of it, but like at least they had like the quote unquote waifu factor in there. So
Yeah.
like that would have drawn people in.
That's
Dragoborn
the
is
reason
just
why
like
it failed. Just to let you know,
oh
like there's a really big card shop on the East Coast that is my locals, and they pump out product like crazy, like Magic the Gathering, Bushido, doesn't matter. And they stopped carrying Look and Logic because it was too lewd for them.
what?
So I'm not saying they killed it entirely, but I'm sure there are other shops that did not want to get into it, nor they want to touch it because of kids that also purchased from them.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was surprised there was no backlash when they started introducing the swimsuit Bermudas. Because at first it's like, yeah, sure, it's mermaids, but when you just cross into that, yeah, it's little kids in swimsuits on your card's territory. I mean, I can see Japan not giving a damn about it, but in the West, I can see that like raising some eyebrows.
Technically, you're drawing assumptions, sir. You don't know they're legal or not. I mean, some of them. Some of them, it's just like, oh, why is this a thing?
I mean, when you can't put a cross on a card in certain card games, I think this is...
Even Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten pretty lax on that stuff, though. They're starting not to edit as much anymore.
About damn time.
Yeah. I think it's at a time, like, I mean, this is really politicky, but it's at a time in, like, the world where everybody's a little more aware about, like, sexuality and stuff like that, so it's not as, like, bad as it would have been, for instance, say, like, 20 years ago.
No,
I can't imagine that should be printed 20 years ago.
But even like Force of Will had issues with their printing very lewd, promiscuous kind of cards, and so a lot of people stop carrying it. Like that, that's kind of a big thing when it comes down to morals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and if we just go back to Dragonborn quickly, I just think like it was a bad decision in general, because both aspects that make Dragonborn different from, say, Vanguard or Buddy Fight or Wise is something that's already way better covered by other card games. It might even be a good game, but
I was going to say, like, why would you make a Magic the Gathering light in the places where Magic the Gathering is the most popular card game?
And it has the mechanics of Star Wars Destiny, pretty much, which is also very popular. So, yeah, it's just a very bad combination in general. I'm sorry, Bushido, but it was a terrible business decision.
Like, Luck and Logic, yeah, like, marking and like, the aesthetic is a lot of what killed the game, but the game itself was at least fun to play. Like, Dragonborn is just... I want nothing to do with it. I'd rather play more Buddy Fight than play Dragonborn, and I hated Buddy Fight during X, just saying. Rest in peace, Magic World.
But yeah, Magic World was nice. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it there, or wrap it here. Sorry, not there, not here nor there, not anywhere. But yeah, it was great talking with you guys today about Aquaforce and then random other things.
Aqua, what? We don't have any force.
Yeah, Aqua Excel, Excel Force.
Excel Force. There we go.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for coming on, talking with me for a little while about some random stuff. Granted, most of it was complaining about where we're at and our letdowns. But hopefully you guys listening enjoyed this podcast. If you did, go ahead, hit a subscribe, hit a like, and I'm gonna leave links to where you can reach everybody in this in this chat. So you guys want to go ahead and give a shout out to anybody? Say anything?
Sure. Yeah. Shout out to that guy in the Maelstrom thread. Yeah. Pressure, buddy. Got it.
Zay just taking shots. Zay, do you have a license for this gun?
Zay, I think he said shout out, not shot out.
Yeah.
My bad.
I do want to shout out Proof's Discord. they've been really helpful with helping me test, as well as helping me get some feedback as far as Aquaforce goes and whatnot. And just so you all know, France is up 4-2 against Croatia. This is rough.
Oh god. You two,
Jeez.
both of you.
It's Bruce Discord rubbing off on us, I swear.
Oh god. At least it's not Vanguards.
Actually, hold on. Before we resume the shoutouts, though, I need to bet which one of us next week is going to be the one that's not impressed with Diamantes. Let's take bets.
All of us?
It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me.
You? Okay.
Like,
I think it also might be CFK. I think he might have a venting video.
oh
I'm
no,
waiting for it.
there's going to be a venting video. Like, listen,
Yo.
if there's not a venting video of CFK about Diamantes inside of his car while he's wearing his Walgreens shirt, I'm going to be disappointed. CFK, this has to happen. Like, I don't care how good it is. I don't care how good Diamantes is. Like, you have to do this. You have to.
Yo, low key. Now, I'm not trying to take shots or anything, but every time I see CFK in a car, I immediately think of Dame Drops. Every time, every single time.
Oh my gosh! Look, I wish I was as popular as Dave Drops. I could go into my car, make food eating videos, get on with Rachel Ray. Have my own book that I didn't even write. All that. Come on. Yeah.
You can also stop by like a Burger King and give like a burger review and then do some card game stuff.
Down, eat. So with Aquaforce, man, this Whopper's really good.
Yeah. If I enjoyed it that much, I would.
But
Hey,
seriously though, that rare and Diamante is like that. That's pretty much just gonna make or break the clan. I feel.
What if
Or those last two
Diamantes?
cards.
What if Diamantes is the rare?
Can't be. Well, I mean, it could be, but that means that we get another triple R grade 2, possibly.
Oh man, or a triple rare or grade 1.
I mean, we could get a rare Diamantes and a triple R Valyria. That'd be.
Do we still have a grade 1 slot that hasn't been filled?
Nope. It's only 2 or higher and a 3 or no. They're both 2 or higher. They can only both be 2 or higher.
I mean, we could.
But the thing is we only have 5 grade 2s, right? So I know for a fact one of those is a grade 2 card. And
Wait,
the
is
other
there?
teammate-
Shoot, maybe
Is there
we'll-
grade 0 spots?
Yeah, 2 triggers. Our other front trigger, other crit trigger.
Hey,
Oh, right.
maybe we'll get maybe Valyria. Maybe we might get Valyria.
I want Valyria.
I do too. I want Valyria. I was like, maybe Valyria, instead of having a retire ability, maybe she'll have a draw ability, and I'll be like this. I'm running 4 of her. I don't care if she can draw. I'm running 4 of her as long as it's not on hit.
Fourth battle, free 10K on hit draw.
Dude, that seems really strong.
And then
Dude, we
afterwards,
need
she tickles your balls.
Bro.
I want something unhealthy. I want something good and
my
unhealthy.
God.
Unhealthy? Well, you're
Unhealthy.
gonna have to pray to the gods that Diamante saves us. Apparently, it's confirmed he has an Excel circle. So I mean, possibly no Maelstrom. We'll have to see.
Oh man, maybe we'll see. Hopefully. Anyway, I think that's everything that we've covered. Even during the shoutouts, like we got derailed. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
You guys are
That's Aquaforce. It happened.
you guys are as focused as my ADD in the morning time. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Anyway, so this is Black Guy Senpai, Cardfight King, Ocean Dragon, TisSkill, Zay. We out.
Peace.
Hola, chica.